So 80% have not had their tonsils tickled. But I'd like to hear from the 20% that have. I'd like to.
Do you believe that number's accurate, or do you think some people are forgetting the fact that their tonsils have been tickled?
How do I know?
Or don't want to acknowledge that they've been tickled before?
I don't know.
Having a rough idea of our demographic.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's about accurate.
It's about right? Okay.
I'll be honest with you.
I guess I doubt you'd forget having your tonsils tickled.
My wife asked me why I was giggling last night. And I told her that and this is me, and maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I've had my head in the sand. I have not heard that. I've not heard that term in relation to football before. I have heard it in relation to some other things before. And so
Razzle-dazzle football.
I told her that perhaps that does not mean what I thought it meant. Or maybe
it does.
Maybe Andy. I don't know. I mean, I could see. I mean, I could take you down that road and make a connection. But if you don't mind, Jake, if you could play that again, because that's really the only thing that he said yesterday that I care about, that overshadowed every other word that he said in his press conference, and it obviously made its rounds on social media.
We're going to try to tickle your tonsils on every play, every game, and but that's the attitude.
Boy, if they don't make that part of the season ticket campaign next year.
We're going to try to tickle your tonsils on every play.
Come on out to Arrowhead Stadium and get your tonsils tickled.
Yes, yes, yes.
I'd play. If I wasn't a season ticket, if I had recently let go of my tickets, I'd reconsider.
Winning.
And so, I don't know. Have you guys heard a coach say that?
I don't know. I've never heard that.
When you heard oh yeah, that's right.
I came across the quote.
Oh, Andy means business now.
Okay, now finally serious.
Right.
Time.
Oh, now they're going to win.
Yeah.
Jake, in all your years of being coached?
No, not once.
Not ever. Never a coach?
Not ever.
At any level? You played soccer at every level through Division I soccer. A coach never said, "Come on, Gutierrez, you got to tickle those tonsils."
Nope, not once. I might walk off the field if that was said.
Guys, we're going to go out there.
Yeah.
For 90 minutes,
I will
we're going to be tickling tonsils.
This team we're playing, they're no joke. They're filled with tonsil ticklers.
I will say, one time we were getting beat down by Memphis.
You were getting your tonsils tickled by Memphis.
Our coach called us a bunch of eunuchs.
Oh.
And I looked
History of the World Part 1.
I looked at my buddy. I said, "What's that? What's a eunuch?"
Right.
He started laughing.
And did he direct you correctly to the History of the World Part 1?
He showed me later.
Quick time, Harch.
I had not seen that yet as a freshman in college. So never tonsils.
Because again, sometimes somebody will say something. I think I've never heard that before, and somebody will say, "Oh, well, at least somebody." Oh, I've heard that. My coach used to tell me that.
Right.
Or whatever,
Sometimes you hear a phrase that you didn't think you ever heard before, and then once you understand it, then you notice people saying it all the time.
There's more than one way to skin a cat.
Right.
I've heard that.
Right.
I'm not trying to skin any cats. I always thought that was weird, but yeah, I get it. Don't look a gift horse in the mouth.
So I've heard these.
We're gonna try to tickle your tonsils.
Every play.
Every game, everything. So, I don't know.
I came across the quote when I saw your tweet And it was funny because it was Derek had the quote, and it just at the beginning said, "I think we can win all the rest of our games or whatever. I think we can win 5 in a row."
Yeah,
and
so that's the smile.
Like, yeah.
You know.
And then I was like, "Well, what else did he say?" And I tapped on Derek.
Tickle your tonsils on every play.
Oh, Kelly came into the room. She's like, "What is going on in here?" And I couldn't even catch my breath to tell her. that what is that, a GIF? What is that you posted? A meme?
GIF,
a GIF?
GIF, whatever.
That was the perfect. Was the perfect. Wait.
I don't know. Like.
Did he really say that?
Yeah, I was like, what's the context here? Let me listen to everything else. I mean, I don't know.
And by your tonsils, is he talking about the crowd? Is he talking about the other team?
The media?
The media?
He was talking
tired
about
of the media.
Is he talking specifically to Matt Derrick?
I mean, I don't know.
Matt Derrick asked the question.
Yeah.
We're going to try to tickle your tonsils on every play.
Right. So if that's not a show liner by 10 a.m., then what are we even doing here? Why did I just drive from the Northland?
What's your level of confidence that things can start going your way and that you can win these next 5 games in a row?
Yeah, well, I believe that. I mean, I believe if you're coming to me on this, Matt, I'm telling you, we're going to go after you every game. And, that's how we roll. We're going to try to tickle your tonsils on every play.
Yeah, well, if I'm the Texans, I'm rethinking my whole game plan for Sunday night at Arrowhead. Really? What are they planning on doing? So. So that was the big takeaway.
That's a pretty big one.
Look, if you can't laugh, you'll cry about how the Chiefs are playing right now. And so maybe that'll shake things up. I'm quite sure that got some play in the locker room, or will get some play in the locker room. I'll ask, and look, I have to do it. Got to ask. I'm gonna keep Coach Leipold out of this one. I won't.
Probably a good idea.
Won't ask him, but I'm definitely gonna ask Bo right there.
Enjoy having him on the show.
But it's a football
right, yeah,
coach.
sure.
And you know what?
I get it.
Honestly, that's who I should ask. Like, hey, is this a coaching term? Is that something coaches say? Are you out there? Your team's not hitting enough, or your team doesn't have enough energy, or whatever. Like, you got to get out there and you got to tickle these tonsils.
I think if it was a coaching term, but as long as we've been in this game, we probably have heard that one before. I mean, right? No.
Andy Reid just said.
I know, but that doesn't.
The greatest coaches of all time. I mean, maybe the greatest.
Andy's clearly heard it from somebody. I mean, is this something that Mike Holmgren said?
I was going to say, do we have to look into the coaching tree? Is this part of the West Coast offense?
Well,
Bill Walsh actually invented it.
Go back to Bill Walsh. I mean,
I've heard it's kind of a West Coast thing.
He said it. I mean, I don't know. There's a lot of different ways that you can look at that. I don't know. Is it you're hitting somebody so hard you feel a tickle in the back of your
Not
throat?
everybody has their tonsils. A lot of people have their tonsils taken out.
I have mine.
I've got mine.
I've got mine. Keep them if
Look at us,
you
we're
can.
3 for 3.
Keep them if you can.
That's a good point you just brought up. Didn't it seem like when we were kids that was a lot more common? You'd always hear about someone, they're out of school, they got their tonsils taken out.
Yeah.
And maybe it's just I never hear about anyone getting their tonsils taken out.
It's not. It's really not good for you to have tonsils removed.
We got 5.
Yeah, that's a good
5
point.
kids, and
none of mine have.
That never came up.
They've had sore throats, and nobody said, "Well, we got to take your tonsils out."
But they wanted to take my tonsils out.
Mm-hmm. So you keep your hands off my tonsils.
Now you wouldn't have any tonsils to tickle.
This is the truth. This is the truth. Okay. And you guys, if you want to come in and look down my throat here a little bit,
I'll take your word for it.
I have gigantic tonsils.
I bet you do.
Oh yeah.
No, I really do.
Of course you do.
And it gives me problems.
Right.
And like when I get sick.
Yeah.
And you guys, I remember when I've told you in the past, like when I get sick, it's the first thing that is an indicator I'll have a tickle in my throat. I guess a tickle in my tonsils.
See, so
Right? And I go, oh, I'm getting ready to get sick. And then they get swollen to the point where I can barely talk.
Yeah, it's hard to
I can't even
swallow.
drink it. Yeah, well, sure it is. And so, no, I'm serious.
It really is hard to swallow
And
if you have
so-
swollen tonsils.
So
yeah.
I remember my mom taking me to the doctor.
Yeah.
And the doctor, like, you know, this is a recurring problem. You probably ought to think about getting his tonsils removed. And I remember my mom saying, no.
Nope.
No. Is that something we have to do? And he's like, well, it's, you know, it'd be a good idea. And she's like, no, it wouldn't. And I remember her almost getting into an argument with the doctor about
Good
that.
for your mom.
Yeah.
But then I remember my cousin Tony, he had something or whatever, and he didn't go to the doctor, and he waited too long, and he ended up was in the hospital for like over a week, and he had to have his it was like a real like emergency removal of his
Yeah.
tonsils, and so but didn't that right? Like I don't know how much you're
I feel like that was a rare.
I used to hear that all the time when I was a kid, though.
I think in our generation, if you still have your tonsils, you're a rarity. I think the majority of people have them taken out because back then they're like, oh, you might as well just, if you got swollen tonsils, you might as well take them out.
I don't think it was the majority.
I remember
It
a
seemed
bunch
like
of my
everybody.
friends getting tonsils
yeah,
taken
man,
out.
I feel like everybody in my
Like
grade
all the
school got them taken
I'm
out.
talking grade school.
Yeah, when they were kids.
And so I'm talking.
Because I remember the one thing they talked about, they
Yeah.
got to eat a bunch of ice cream.
I'm talking
you know?
70s and early 80s.
Yeah.
You would hear it all the time.
Yeah.
Oh, where's so and so? Oh, he got his tonsils taken out. Really?
Yeah.
And I'd always ask my mom and dad, so when am I getting my tonsils taken out? And like,
Yeah.
well, you know, you might not have to, but it was a big
Yeah.
thing.
It was
and I
a
never
lot.
heard about that at all.
Maybe it wasn't the majority, but it felt like it as a kid.
No, there was a lot. There was a lot
of
of people who got their tonsils taken
Yeah.
out.
I think they probably looked back at it. It's really not a good idea to have your tonsils removed.
Because I didn't want to. I remember that, and I
Yeah.
didn't want to.
Intuitively you knew it. 'Cause
And I was
it's
scared
really a
they
big
were
part of
going
your
to.
immune system. I mean, it's
Yeah, I feel like the medical community kind of has these fads almost where it's like, oh, yeah, you don't really need them. Let's just do that. You know, it's like, yeah, anyway, I go down a rabbit hole on that. But no doctor's ever recommended it, I don't think, for any of my 3 kids. And they've had
It's never
sore
even been a
throats and-
discussion.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
But I don't ever hear of that from anyone anymore. I never hear that. So and so was out from school, or I coached kids for 20 years. I never had a kid. I'm going to miss practice. I'm getting my tonsils taken out. Like, oh, well, okay then.
Well, that means that there's a lot more tonsils,
Right, to
out
be
there
tickled. To
be
these
tickled.
days, in the future.
Right.
So,
but for our age,
yeah,
you don't get that experience. Maybe.
yeah.
And so Andy
Yeah.
Reid wasn't talking to you. No, but it's it's Hey, sometimes tonsils are a good topic.
Yeah, I guess so. I dealt with the same thing as you. Is anytime I get sick, it's the tonsils that swell up.
Dude, I remember, you may not remember this, Jake, but you remember when, and I did not have a primary care physician at the time, and I was like really sick, and you went with me to Oak Park Mall to the
Took you
clinic,
yeah.
and we looked, and
Yeah,
they
you're like,
looked
"Hey,
in my
look at my
throat,
tonsils."
and dude, it was like,
Yeah, they're bad.
no, it was like horrible.
Yeah, I
you know what I
know.
mean?
They're calling in other doctors to look. You got to see these things.
You
Oh,
made
it
me
was-
look first.
It was look at this, buddy.
You'll never see tonsils like this
And
again,
they
Jake.
said,
Take a
yeah,
look.
you've got
They're
strep
big.
throat. You're sick. So, well, anyway, hopefully, Andy Reid has opened up a discussion for families across Kansas City about tonsils and tickles and everything else. So, what do you think he meant?
I don't. I mean, this is, I don't know how else to say it, but like, we're gonna jam it down your throat,
See, that's
like
you
with,
can look at it that way.
like the
We're gonna try to
football,
tickle your tonsils on every play.
We're gonna excite you.
Yeah, is that a phrase?
Well,
for,
we need to decide is having your tonsils tickled a positive or a negative.
and whose tonsils are we talking? Again, is that the other team?
There's too many,
I mean, there's variables.
yeah, unknowns here.
Let's see. Let me
I googled it and I didn't. There was nothing that came up. It just started giving me diagrams of the tonsils. You got to be careful when you put in some terms into Google because some of the images will pop up.
How do you spell tonsils? T-O-N-S-I-L?
I think there's a U in there.
I don't think
No. T-O-N-S-I-L-S.
Yeah, I don't know.
There's a U in there.
Yeah, yeah, you might be in there. I'm looking at one article. We're going to try to tickle your tonsils in every play in every game, Reed told reporters on Monday as he discussed the Chiefs' desire to win some more games. Maybe it's desire. Going to go out there with some more desire.
Okay. Would you like Chat GPT's definition of it?
Not particularly, but that's the best we got.
Tickle your tonsils is usually a joking phrase that means something goes so far back in your mouth or throat that it feels like it's touching your tonsils. Most commonly, taking a very deep sip or shot of a strong drink. Example, boy, that whiskey will tickle your tonsils.
Yeah.
Food or spice hitting the back of your throat, strong flavors, a big pill, toothbrush, or gag reflex moment. Yeah. Depending on the context, it could also be a crude sexual innuendo.
Yes.
Used humorously or suggestively.
So maybe he's
that's
saying
what ChatGPT says.
that the Chiefs are going to play some flavorful football.
Yeah, like spicy,
that's
like
really
a curry.
going to tickle your tonsils.
Yeah.
You're gonna taste this. This is really.
Or like they're going to be a shot of whiskey that really gets you fired up. You know,
10 inches.
Tickles your tonsils.
I don't
Or
know.
maybe they're going to be like a toothbrush.
Boy,
There's a lot of options here.
is Andy brilliant. Instead of us talking about the injuries to the offensive line and the Chiefs' failures and close games all season long, we've talked about tonsils the entire first segment. So
I am going to ask a couple of my friends in the medical community what happened to all the tonsil removals.
all right, find out. Get to the bottom of this. Let's have some good come from this losing streak. All right.
I think we already have
Right.
this last 20 minutes.
We're going to have Lance Leipold, if he still agrees to come on the show.
Yeah, I don't know.
Mark Borichter, Jeff Chadilla, Jeff Kerr. We're going to talk to our good friend Adam from Boulevard Brewing Company.
Already getting texts from Bo Richter saying, really looking forward to my segment with you guys. No,
You're not the one.
I don't think he's being sarcastic.
You got up at the podium and said it.
He said, can't wait for our segment today.
You know what I mean? I didn't ask for
I
this.
think you'd like to weigh in on it, I think.
This happened. This happened.
Sure did.
You know, we're just innocent bystanders trying to
We
somehow
report on these things.
Yeah,
We try to unpack what's being said at these press conferences, get to the bottom
We're
of
going to
it.
try to tickle your tonsils on every play.
Especially he kind of laughs halfway through.
That's what I mean. That's what he like. What, Coach? What are you doing here?
It's like, like as soon as he gets it out, he's kind of
We're going
I'm
to try
so-
to tickle your
If
tonsils on
Lebo gets in here, I'm gonna-
every play.
I'm going to confront Lebo because, like, you follow up on all these other questions.
right.
How do you not follow? Coach, could you elaborate? What exactly do you mean by that?
Yeah, that's a question for Lebo to ask for sure.
What exactly
Can you
do you
describe-
mean by that?
Whose tonsils?
That's a good point. I didn't think about that. Whose tonsils is he talking about? The opponents or the fans?
Right, like is it we're going to entertain you so much that your tonsils will be tickled?
I think he's directing that to Matt Derrick.
Or are you going to, like, when my tonsils or have a tickle in them, that means I'm going to get sick. So I'm
Yeah,
irritated
you
by
don't
that. I
like
don't like
that. It's a bad thing.
Like, this is terrible. Maybe that's what. Maybe they're going to irritate the opponents.
Yeah, I mean, it seems like getting your tonsils tickled, according to this definition from ChatGPT, could be either a good or a bad thing.
No, we'll find out. At some point, we'll get to the bottom of this.
I think I'd rather be the tonsil tickler.
Will?
Like Andy Reid's, and he's said we're going to, so he's implying he's part of that.
Yeah, but it's like, are we both? Are we doing you a favor by tonsilling?
Well, I don't know. I think it's probably
Or
it's up to individuals. I bet some
Yeah.
people
Yeah,
like
they ever
it, some
test
people
you for
don't.
strep throat with that long swab?
Yeah, that
they
big
get in
swab,
there?
that tickles
They
your
tickle your
tonsils.
tonsil.
Yeah.
That's
I don't like that.
right.
That was not a fun thing.
Maybe he's talking about the Chiefs being a long swab to get in there.
Cotton swab.
Right.
We're going to be testing you for strep.
Bottom line is this: Texans, you've been warned. Look
Yeah.
out, Houston.
Yeah.
You got something waiting for you on Sunday night. We'll take a break. Back after this on WHB. What's up, Kansas City? Steven St. John here for WeatherTech Renovations. And here we go with this weather. You never know what you're going to get in Kansas City. And the weather was wild yesterday. And now you've got some ice. You've got some snow. All these things could affect your roof. And if any of this bad weather can cause problems or has caused problems with your roof, you need to call my guy Brian Donegan at WeatherTech Renovations, Kansas City's trusted name for storm repair, roof replacement, and inspections. With their rapid response team, they're going to stop the leaks before they become major problems. All right, when you have major storms and bad weather passing through your neighborhood, and you think maybe you have some damage to your roof and you just want to make sure, you need to contact WeatherTech Renovations. They will help you. All right, they can come and assess your roof and advocate for you if you need to make an insurance claim. They will take you through the entire process and help you every way that you need help to get your roof repaired or replaced and to do it the right way. You can trust them. They're good people, and that's why I work with them. Brian Donegan and WeatherTech Renovations. Give them a call at 816-988-8957 or online at WTRenovations.com. Welcome back to New Day with SSJ on Sports Radio 810 WHB. Thank you very much for joining us. We appreciate it. Let's talk to Kansas head football coach Lance Leipold. Coach, good morning. How are you?
Good morning. I'm doing well. How are you?
Doing all right. Coach, let's talk a little bit about this last game against Utah. Clearly your team fought hard, and it was a close game, down to the wire, come up a little bit short. Just your overall thoughts on how your team performed in this last game of the season.
Yeah, you know, really proud of the effort and battling and you know, playing a ranked team. You know, as you said, we played well, had our opportunities. You know, we kick a field goal, have movement penalty, take points off the board, then miss the next try. We have essentially 3 red zone turnovers. We give up some explosive plays on third down and sometimes there, you know, those things can't happen when you're playing ranked football teams that have a chance to be in the playoffs. But that said, thought we ran the ball extremely well. We played extremely hard. Other than a couple of those bigger plays that we gave up defensively, I thought we had a solid defensive performance and gave ourselves opportunity.
Yeah, Coach, and I know you've said that you're going to take this brief period of time before the portal opens and all those things to kind of, I guess, assess the good and bad that happened through the course of this year. And you had a handful of games like that, right, where you were right there. You had a chance for that one extra win that would have gotten you to a bowl game. And when the margins are that thin, I guess any little thing here or there could have swung the difference. So have you started that process and looking into, okay, what are some of the things that we can really focus on, going forward to get over that hump?
Yeah, we started some of it. It'll continue as we go through this month. Now we have signing day tomorrow, so a lot of things we had, a team meeting yesterday with, again, we talked last week about 33 seniors, so a lot of guys kind of, you're kind of touching base with them. School, last day of classes is at the end of this week, and some guys don't have many finals, and, people are going to be getting out of town here shortly. So you're trying to do a lot of different little short one-on-ones and little things there, but we'll continue to study things. We have been for a while again, and if you guys remember, even last year when we, again, you don't, same song, second verse type of deal of when you come up short in these things, you can pick certain games, you can pick a moment or two. I think I saw something even on the news, last night where Coach Reed's talking about some of the same things there. That's football. You pick a play or two in a game that become big factors, and I think unfortunately over the course of the last 2 seasons we've had those. And what is the way to get those? Continually finding ways to make those better, execute better, coach it better of when that time plays, whether that be in player, defensive call selection, the execution of when opportunity comes, all those things that have led us to be on the shorter end of things.
You talked about early signing day, and the college football calendar has been under scrutiny the past couple of days. I'm sure you're aware of everything that's going on with the story of Lane Kiffin going to LSU, and people have said, look, Lane Kiffin, he is the villain to some people here, but college football needs to change their calendar, and transfer portal and all these different things that that make it difficult for schools and coaches, and timing is everything, right? And you've got coaches deciding whether or not they're going to stay with their teams in the playoffs. When you look at the college football calendar, just from your perspective, do you think changes need to be made?
Yeah, continually evolving, yes. And this is starting to show. This is another kind of a big example. And how often, first of all, does a does a coach that's going to be in the playoffs leave for a team that's not in the playoffs? That's unique in and of itself, I think. But we do have to look at some things, But when we look at the calendar and many things that we've tried to do, whether it be with portal, with other things, recruiting windows, all these things, we also have to do, we talk a lot about emulating and we're evolving towards an NFL model, but we also have an academic calendar that plays a part in some of these decisions. Now, I saw something this morning that Joey McGuire at Texas Tech said about probably makes sense is, I think we thought it was good to kind of spill over into the second semester and post-January type play. I think we probably do have to get ourselves back into a one-semester sport to probably help clean some of this up.
You bring up that really interesting point. Like you see a coach that's we have, of course, haven't had the playoffs for that long in terms of at least of this type of field, but a coach, with a coach doing what Lane Kiffin's doing is as you just mentioned, leaving a school that's in the playoff to a school that's not. You can look at it and say, well, there's one that's a bigger power. They got, they probably got more NIL money. They got bigger stadium, whatever. But we're also seeing teams that we haven't historically seen as college football powers that are in this year's playoffs. And I guess I'm curious your thoughts on how does that redefine, what expectations are across the – I mean, I've heard a lot of coaches this year talk about what the expectations for their program ought to be in today's landscape.
Yeah, and just for I kind of make sure you bring me back to that, Nate, is I think there's some things yet that mainly have to still go back to maybe collective bargaining, and if we're ever going to be that type of organization, is Joey McGuire also talked about the transfer rules. And also, like NFL has tampering penalties. Mm-hmm. So we're also talking about making sure people can finish their jobs the way they need to finish them jobs without all the speculation and hurry up. And that's where we go back into these academic and recruiting calendars. Well, I've got to know who my coach is, otherwise I'm not going to sign with this school that I thought I was going to. And there's other dominoes that kind of go into that have to continue to be worked out. But, the college, and I think we said this as well during the course of this fall, is that the more college with revenue share, commercial NIL, and extended playoffs, it has given more schools in a lot of sports more opportunity to be a playoff team, to have a better chance to compete on a regular basis, and you're seeing teams. Indiana may be the one that sticks out the most right now, that has made huge strides, made a great coaching hire, and have played extremely well, and has given things. But also, I think for and probably rightfully so, that has continued to raise expectations, if nothing else, for everyone across the way, that everyone should be able to do that on a fairly regular basis. And the thing that also makes it is that we've talked about here is, I think we're going to slowly see more teams in the playoffs, and you're going to hear the speculation down the stretch about a 3-loss team, a 4-loss team being in the playoffs. And that would be something that we never really had speculated as before, because as you can see, sometimes there's coaches losing jobs that have had fairly decent seasons and still wasn't good enough for the fan base.
So now as you get ready to replenish your roster, you talked about losing some seniors, and this is still the new college football that we're trying to wrap our heads around. How do you balance, the resources of, retaining the players that you've got and keeping them from transferring versus recruiting high school players versus going out and shopping for new players in the transfer portal? And it's not the same for every school, but based on what you've done, how difficult is that to be able to hit all those notes?
It's very difficult and extremely difficult. Rob Einell is our general manager. We have a recruiting/personnel department that we've tried to look at it, and of course working with her administration about resources available, that you're trying to build yourself, within a so-called cap and resources of how much does we don't really have rookie minimums and rookie contracts per se. So what is it? What and we study and we look at it, and everybody across the country. And I think again, we said it on here before, is I'd reached out to an NFL general manager that shared information across the NFL about what percentage of the salary cap is spent at every position. So we tried to build that a couple years ago of, as you know, in the NFL, the left tackle is going to make a lot more money than the left guard. A corner is going to make more money than a safety usually. But again, in some spots in college, positions are slightly different. So we try to build that and go with it. But again, as you said, we've worked hard here at Kansas for the last 2 years about changing a culture and changing what this place used to be as far as roster stability, instead of being a place that had a lot of turnover in a lot of different ways. So to have classes of 37 and 33 seniors, I think we've done that. But in this new world, that may be a little bit different. So you're trying to keep the people that know what it takes and how we go about it, but also improve your roster short term, but also recruit for the future, that you can still develop players. And sometimes everyone thinks it's a never-ending flow of money, and that is not the case.
And okay, for you, we know this. You have a new starting quarterback next year, because you that's just what it is. And so, how difficult is it to look at? Okay, we're gonna go into the high school ranks and recruit a quarterback and develop him, and hope that by the time we've developed him, he's going to stay with us, versus just going out and getting a guy that's ready to start in the transfer portal, because for years and years you didn't have that option, and now that is an option. And so how does that affect the recruiting of quarterbacks and developing quarterbacks when you have the opportunity to go out and get a guy that's ready to start immediately?
Yeah, it's tough, because and you look at a lot of programs across the country now. We feel we have currently 3 quarterbacks that can be starting quarterbacks for us and continue to develop and operate our offense. And again, as things progress, you never know what else happens. But at the same time, there's been programs across the country that all of a sudden something would happen, an injury or two, and we sort of got caught in that a couple years ago when Cole Ballard was a walk-on and started a game for us, is that you just don't have the same depth in your room anymore as you used to, because everyone wants to play now, and if they don't feel it's the opportunities there, they're going to see greener pastures, and it's tough. So and obviously, quarterback being such a focal point, it's always that way. But there's a lot of positions that you go that way, that if you continually go to the portal, you end up being probably at that position all the time, because young guys are also going to look at, am I willing to wait to be developed? Now, it's a balancing act, as we talk about, as we want. We still want to recruit high school players and develop. We feel we're going to have a fine class signing tomorrow morning, but it's the new world in which we live in.
I'm trying to put myself in your shoes, Coach, and thinking about evaluating a kid that you've had based on what he's doing in practice every day versus evaluating a kid from another program. You get a chance to see that kid, what he does on game day, but you don't get to see necessarily how he handles himself every day in front of the team and in practice, how he's going to fit in your system. But the kid that you've got, you don't know what he's going to be like on game day, because he hasn't really had a chance to run the offense on a game day. So I don't even know how you square those two things when you're trying to evaluate.
Yeah, you're trying, and we are in a very much a projection type business, so to speak. You're trying to project young men and how they're going to grow, develop, whether it be put on weight, gain speed, adapt to the speed of the game, move away from home. A lot of different factors of study. It's a lot of times, if a player is struggling in a way, and sometimes you go back to the high school and they'll ask about how's Joey doing, and you'll say, well, he's doing all right, but he's kind of struggled with let's just say I remember way back when I was coaching D3. I've talked about a running back, and I said, he does a good job, but he struggles understanding and picking up pass protections. Yeah, you had the same problem when he played for us. Well, I wish you would have shared that with us a little bit, that, there was an area of emphasis and things like that. And so you don't know what the blemishes are going to be. You don't know what happens when the light goes on. And not only that, sometimes when you're looking at college players with game tape, Nate, sometimes, we've been successful with a Division II player in Dominic Pooney. Leroy Harris has done well from FCS, but sometimes you bring guys from those levels and it doesn't work out at all for various reasons. So again, you've got to be able to evaluate and translate things and have things pan out.
Hey, Coach, before we let you go, I just wanted to ask you if you, now that the season's over, you came up just short of a bowl game. What's your message to Kansas fans who obviously would be disappointed without getting back to a bowl game, but still on the bandwagon and looking for you guys to hopefully turn it around and get back there next year?
Well, first of all, I want to thank them for all their support and their understanding and where it's been, especially those, came out to support those seniors on Black Friday and that. I would say I understand that there is some frustration and disappointment that we haven't been able to get to bowl games. And again, but I would also say that I guess I'm encouraged and support the fact that they are disappointed by that is now the expectation in a short period of time. And I would ask that they are an important part of the direction of this program by coming to games and supporting our program in other ways to do that, so we can continue to build and become a consistent winner, a consistent bowl participant, and we need them. And hopefully it's not a flash in the pan and type of things that you're on and off depending on a weekly outcome, that you can weather the storm, believe in the program and believe in our players, and because we feel that we have really good days ahead of us.
Coach, we appreciate you coming on the show. I could say this: I have a tremendous amount of respect for you. Win or lose, whenever, you always were willing to come on the show with us every Tuesday, and that means a lot to us. And we wish nothing but the best for you and your family. And again, we're thinking about your wife and kept her and your family in our prayers, and we look forward to talking to you again real soon. And until then, thank you so much for all the time you spent talking with us and answering our dumb questions on the show.
Well, I appreciate it. As I said, I've always enjoyed it. Appreciate the thoughts and prayers for our family. And again, the opportunity to talk about our program is something that is very important to us. And I wish you guys all a great Christmas and holiday season.
Right back at you, Coach. Thank you.
Thank you. Rock Chalk.
That's Coach Lance Leipold. We will take a break. Back after this on WHB.
Hey, folks, the holiday season is here, and Aesthetic Care Med Spa has everything you need. If you're looking for gift cards, you can get some great deals right now at greatskinkc.com for people in your life. You got favorite results-driven brands like Alastin and Revision. You can shop by brand or skin concern, whether you're fighting acne, face lines, dry skin, looking for that perfect glow up before the holidays. They even carry top-rated supplements to support gut health, hair growth, and overall wellness. I just did my blood work yesterday, actually, because I'm going to go back in. I do this on a regular basis to make sure that my hormone levels are good. I got to make sure my cholesterol's good. That's been kind of dodgy lately, I'm not happy to say. But I do all those things, and I check myself and make sure I'm healthy with Dr. Amy Carter there. So whether it's a glow up or your overall health, Aesthetic Care Med Spa is the place to go. And if you want to get something nice for a person in your life for the holidays, you can order gift cards and get a good deal right now at greatskinkc.com. That's greatskinkc.com.
we've got some tasty college basketball that may or may not tickle your tonsils tonight. How about these matchups on a cold Tuesday night? Number 5, UConn at number 21, Kansas. 8 o'clock. Right here on Sports Radio 810 WHB. Either you guys going to that game?
I am not.
No, sir.
All right, see you there.
Where's Sherm's going?
Earlier at 6:30, number 15, Florida, and number 4, Duke, as part of the ACC-SEC Challenge. We'll also get number 16, North Carolina, at number 18, Kentucky. So right there, I offer you 3 games featuring a battle of ranked teams. And those are all... Well, I'm not going to go through that again with you. Are those all blue bloods?
I think so. I don't think I normally would consider Florida a blue blood, but gosh, they've won 3 national.
I say, well, they're defending national champions, so they don't care what you call them.
Yeah. Well, I wasn't trying to be insulted. I'm just saying, like, I think
you're getting ready to.
I think
look
most of the
down
time you
your
think of
nose at
Florida as a football school, but
You're getting ready to say, I have a chair.
I'm king of the castle.
Right. I know what you're getting ready to say.
But if you look at all those other schools you just mentioned, they're all basketball schools.
Those are all attractive matchups.
Yeah, they of course. I'm just trying to,
Those are all tonsil
If you're asking
ticklers.
me if they're real blue bloods, I'm just trying to give you an honest answer.
I don't know.
I don't know what you call a blue blood, but
King in
they
the
won the
castle,
national
king in the
title
castle.
last year.
Someone if
Have
you
a
cut them, they
chair,
bleed
have a
blue.
chair.
Also, Missouri's in action at Notre Dame. Again, part of the ACC SEC Men's Challenge at 8 o'clock. Missouri has how many schools are there in D1? It's like 350 something. I can't remember for sure, but let's say it's 356. Their strength of schedule is like 355. There's only one team there, so it's
racking up some wins.
Let's see. They play Notre Dame, and then they play Kansas. Now, this was not a tonsil tickler for local fans. Did you guys happen to see what happened last night in Manhattan at the Octagon of Doom?
I didn't watch the game, but I saw the score.
Jake, did you see this? Jake has no idea what I'm talking about. Bowling Green, 82, Kansas State, 66.
Garrick Dieter claimed that one, huh?
Yeah, one of the 7 schools he went to.
Ow.
Damn.
It's 3,
But I mean, the takeaway there, that's
82-66. Yeah, that was a 14-point game at halftime.
That's 3 losses in a row for Kansas State.
I don't know much about Bowling Green. I don't know how good they are.
They're 6-2. I don't know.
Losses to Davidson and William and Mary.
Well, there's your answer, isn't it? I mean, look, the other 2 losses aren't bad. They lost to Nebraska in Kansas City, and Mike DeCourcy said Nebraska's good. They lost at a ranked Indiana team, although it was, 17 points. But getting beat double digits at home by Bowling Green, that doesn't.
No, that's not good.
No. I don't know. Just hey, look, trying to give equal time, just mentioning all the games.
Hey, not to change the subject, but that Kansas line is interesting. All of a sudden, UConn is favored by 2.5. I believe over the weekend, KU was favored by 2.5, and I think it all centers around the speculation of whether or not Darren Peterson's going to play. There was a lot of rumors that he was going to play.
Well, is he or not?
I don't know. I believe it's it's a game time decision from what I understand.
Text one of your insiders. Find out something. Report something on this show. We'll be right back after this on WHB. One touchdown can change everything. The crowd, the momentum, the game itself, it never gets old. You can feel that same rush with DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NFL, where every touchdown can bring you closer to cashing in. Jake, guess what I did yesterday at home?
Did you cash in?
I placed a bet.
Oh, wow. How'd that feel?
It felt bad because my wife yelled at me. So there it is. With DraftKings Sportsbook, all the action's in your hands. But then I told her I won, and she kissed me. And she said, you know what? I love it. Thank you. First touchdown, anytime TD, live bets, every play, every snap, every game matters. And here's the best part. New customers bet just $5, and if your bet wins, you'll get $200 in bonus bets instantly. When your team hits the end zone, you could hit the payout. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app and use code 810WHB. That's code 810WHB. Bet $5 and get $200 in bonus bets if your bet wins. In partnership with DraftKings, the crown is yours.
Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. 21 plus, Kansas only. Eligibility and restrictions apply. On behalf of Boot Hill Casino and Resort, bet must win to receive bonus bets which expire in 7 days. Minimum odds required. For additional terms and responsible gaming resources, see dkng.co/audio. Limited time offer.